Hello, I'm Peter C. Hayward. Welcome to my daily Solforge video. I missed the daily reward. I don't know what I got. I assume it was just a basic booster. But yesterday in my third reward, I got another normal booster, so I'm going to start by opening that. If you missed yesterday's video, it was me being extremely tired and basically rambling about Savants for 41 minutes and playing a few games. What do we got? Deep Branch, Forge Guardian, bonus rare, which is nice. Cool. So I'm going to be building the other Savant deck that I know of, which is the Utera Necrium, and trying that one out. So this might be a longer one again, depending on how well I do. I started putting this together when I was very tired. I've had a lot of sleep since then. I've put too many cards in, so I'm just going to cut down some of these. I'm going to cut Ferocious Roar down to 2, Botanimate down to 1 or 2. I'm going to go 1. I'm going to cut Epidemic down to 2. And that gives me a deck of 30, but with no Life Shapers, so let's add them in. So this deck is just a Necrium Shaper deck, where you use the Dark Shaper to kill off creatures, and Soul Harvest to create new creatures and all that kind of thing. As well as 3 Frostwild Trackers, so you can get even more creatures in. So Frostwild Trackers sort of replaces Master of Elements in this deck. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my Life Shaper. This is a really, really roughly put together deck. This could go with a lot of improvement. It's sort of roughly based on, I think it's called the Sandstorm deck. But because I never actually looked at the card listing for that, I was just kind of building it from memory. So I'm going to cut that down to 2 Deep Branches, 1 Death Seeker, and 1 Scavenger. And hopefully that's good. I'm going to overwrite the other Shaper deck that I built. So again, this is very, very rough. I wouldn't be surprised if I got my ass kicked with this, but just by being a Shaper deck, it's abnormally powerful. Let's have a look. What are we up to? Shaper. Random online match timed. So the trick with this is just, again, I don't know how clearly I said this last night. I haven't watched the video again. I just remember being crazy tired. But my issue with Shaper decks is A, the homogeny, which is that every Shaper deck consists of 3 Shapers, 3 support cards, etc., etc. And there's very little, honestly, very little skill involved in playing it, because level 1 is just play your Shaper, level 2 is play your Shaper, level 3 is play your Shaper, and it's just boring. Wow, what a useless opening hand. Look at that. I'm going to level up an Epidemic just because there's nothing else I can do with that. Whew. That is one of the worst opening hands I've ever seen. I might have too much removal in this deck based on that hand. So this time we'll be playing a pair of Frostwilds, unless I'm against a Rush Utera deck, in which case I might have to Dreadbolt something, but I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be playing the Frostwilds. Like I said, never played this deck before, only seen it played the once, where it did pretty well, but this is not an exact replica of that. I could have looked that up. I should have looked that up, but I didn't. If I get my ass really kicked for this, I'm going to look it up, but hopefully that doesn't happen. You'll be happy to know my turtle's doing really well. He's swimming around in the corner right now. I found out that for the first... Oh, it's his turn. I was trying to work out why my time wasn't moving. For the first week of turtle ownership, they are very, very shy. You're not actually meant to take them out, so what I did last night was a bit of a turtle faux pas. With the Frost, cool. So I'm playing a Necrium, possibly an Abomination deck? I don't know. So I'm going to chuck Frostwilds out, even though one of them is going to get taken out by the Witherfrost and the other one by the Flesh Fiend. This is just about leveling. They'll hopefully at least weaken something big enough that a Shaper can take it out next turn. What do I got? Dark Shaper, Ferocious Roar. I'll probably play a Shaper and a Scavenger Scorpion, I guess. Scavenger, like, just due to lack of other things to play. Haven't drawn very many Shapers so far, which is a bit disconcerting. Doesn't bode well for this deck. Blightwalker. Cool. So I'm going to chuck my Shaper in front of the Shaper. No, I'll chuck a Shaper in front of the Flesh Fiend and a Scavenger in front of the Witherfrost, just so it takes it out in one hit. and then regenerates the health back, which is quite nice. Leveling the Ferocious Roar would also make sense at this point, just because Ferocious Roar gets really scary at level 3, but I'm happy enough with that play. As you can see from the decks that I've been playing over the last few days, playing against in the last 2 days, there's just an abundance of Shapers, and it's really boring. Everyone's playing Shaper deck, which feels to me like proof that they're OP. Is he going to be able to take that out? No, so it's going to be a trade. I'm going to Frostwile and... oh, Epidemic will take out Zymus entirely. It'll mean Witherfrost and Blightwalker can't attack. The fact that there's a Zymus means that I should probably be playing my Botanimate, actually. The trouble is, anything I play the Botanimate on will just strengthen it, except for the Dark Shaper. I'm going to play this Botanimate just so that I'm not... I should have... no, I was going to say I should have attacked first, but that wouldn't make any sense. So now I've left myself vulnerable to my Frostwile being taken up by the Witherfrost, and the Sapling just being able to attack. But that's okay. I'm going to Echo Wisp in front of the Witherfrost and the Blightwalker, and then Ferociously Roar, I think. The Doomwing's a bit annoying. Nothing I can do about him, though. Now, I'll do this play to take out 2 creatures and leave myself with an 8-3 on the board, an 8-2 on the board it'll be. Which does leave me vulnerable to one of his Epidemics, but that's okay. I played 1 Shaper in that first round, didn't I? That really doesn't bode well for this deck. This is a Shaper deck. Alright, Blightwalker will take out Echo Wisp, which means the Doomwing won't be able to, so that doesn't really matter. I'm going to play a Frostwile, then a Shaper. That's not going to be very helpful for you, mate. I'll probably play the Shaper in front of the... ooh, Keeper of the Damned. You don't see a lot of them. I don't see a lot of them. I haven't seen a lot of them. So Life Shaper in front of him. Frostwild in front of Keeper, and then a Scavenger is my free card, I guess. This deck's playing a little bit weird at the moment just because of the lack of Shapers, but that's okay. I'm still doing alright. What's the alternatives there? No, there's no way of keeping 3 creatures alive. This way I run the risk of doing a nice amount of damage to the Keeper of the Damned, which is... I really wish I had one of these. These are just a nice card. When it's destroyed, return it to one of your available spaces at random. I would love to build a deck out of... It's an interesting move. Isn't he just going to die now? Oh, right, he's going to die and then come back. Of course. Yeah, it's a clever play. See, Keeper of the Dam, it's a cool card, just generally. So, I got a Shaper and a Frostwild, I mean I'll be able to activate the Shaper once. I'm going to play the Dark Shaper... oh. Ah, crap. Okay, so no matter what I'm going to lose a card. So I'm going to play Frostwild here, then trade the Scavenger to the Flesh Fiend. Frostwild here. Ah, okay. I eventually want my Dark Shaper over here, but there's no way of doing that this turn. I'll play the Dark Shaper here so that... I don't know what to do. Oh, okay, I'll play the Dark Shaper here and use him to weaken the Doomwing. I'm going to play a Frostwild in a position where he will die, there's nothing I can do about that. And then chuck a Dark Shaper in front of the Keeper of the Dam just to level him. I don't know if that's optimal play, but that's what I'm going to do. No, do not cancel that ability. Whoops. I wish there had been a way to play my other Shaper, but no matter what, I was only going to get to play 1, and that's okay, everyone. These things sometimes happen. Wow! So most likely I'm going to be playing a second game after this, just because this is not at all shown off the Shaper deck, and again, that is one of my issues with the Shaper decks. They, why wouldn't you move in front of the Frostwild and kill him? That was a silly Billy thing to do. How strange. I wish I could Dreadbolt something, but it's level 1, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to play an Echo Wisp, fill up these lanes here, and target the Flesh Fiend with my Shaper's ability, and then play a Dark Shaper No, yeah, Dark Shaper in the corner. Come on, mate. Come on, big badass banana. That is one of my favourite usernames I've ever seen. Big badass banana. Or big bad ass banana. So I'm going to play an Echo Wisp here, targeting the Flesh Fiend just so that my Shaper survives as long as possible. And a Dark Shaper in the other corner, again targeting the Flesh Fiend, because I don't mind trading a Doomwing for an Echo Wisp. That is fine by me. That puts my Shaper out of Witherfrost range. Oh crap, I've got to have Flesh Fiends work. So yeah, she'll be able to Witherfrost my Dark Shaper to death, but that's okay. Zymus. What have I got to deal with Zymus? Not much at the moment. He did a weird... Yeah, he did a... Oh, that's right, I'm playing a Shaper deck. Cool, I'm going to Echo Wisp against Zymus and Witherfrost. And then... Yeah, he'll be able to take out my Echo Wisp by triggering the Shaper, but there's nothing I can do to stop that. Unless I Ferociously Roar... He'll still be able to do it, it'll take 2 activations instead of 1. But I'm going to Ferocious Roar anyway, I think that's the best play. Keeps my other Echo Wisp alive. And keeps my Dark Shaper Savant opposing his alive, meaning he has to target that at least once. So, I've got a level 3 Shaper and then a Frostwild, so I'll be able to play... Wow, I'll be able to... Even if he completely clears the board, I'll be able to fill it up again with a Dark Shaper, a Frostwild, and then 2 Echo Wisps, which will trigger the Dark Shaper once. If his Dark Shaper is still alive, I'll obviously target it. Oh, though I can just chuck down Echo Wisps in front of them and trade. What do I want to oppose Witherfrost with? She's -7 at this point, I'm pretty sure. Yes. So she won't be able to actually kill my Frostwild, so I'm going to chuck him down. I'm going to put the Shaper over here where he will hopefully survive. Frostwild against the Witherfrost, and then Echo Wisps over here, slightly weakening the Witherfrost. She'll still be able to survive against my Frostwild, but she will have to take some damage, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, so as you can see, this deck's not ideal. I'm gonna play both Shapers this turn because there's nothing for the Frostwild to activate. And that's okay. By playing both Shapers, Will be able to take out that Doomwing before it can actually do anything. And I'm going to oppose the Witherfrost with 1 Shaper so that he will take as little damage as possible, and put the other one in that gap in the middle, or next to... Yeah, I'll put him in the gap in the middle just to spread them out. So this is where Shapers really work their magic. They... Oh, her Witherfrost's going to survive that, though. No, I need to take out that Doomwing, otherwise it can just fly around and kill every one of my creatures off. So, I'm going to kill off the Doomwing, risk losing a Shaper to her. It'll be -7, so it won't be quite enough to kill one of my Shapers. Come on. Either he's forgotten to press end, or the timer is being screwy. At the moment this is pretty evenly matched. I think he's only leveled up the 1 Shaper and I've got 3. And again, I hate that the game comes down to that. The last game I played yesterday was a mirror match against a deck playing almost the exact same deck as me, and I won simply because we played the exact same thing and I drew the Shapers first. That's not a game of skill, that's a game of luck, and Solforge definitely has luck elements, but it's not that purely... A Shaper deck has one strategy, which is play Shapers, and anything else just loses. So if you don't draw Shapers, you lose. As for example, I haven't drawn many Shapers in this one. Come along, big badass banana. I discovered that these videos have a pause function, so oh no, it's my turn. I was going to pause it so you didn't have to sit through any more weights. Weights as in waiting, not lifting of the weights. And boom goes the dynamite, to quote Cleveland. Cool, so my Witherfrost, his Witherfrost will be able to... Oh, he will be able to take out my Shaper this turn, that's okay. I've got a new Shaper. Or I could play 2 level 1s. Oh, yeah, the level 2 Shaper will activate my level 3 Shaper, So I'll be able to activate my level 3 Shaper, and then providing it's alive, activate both. That's an interesting play. Oh, because you can chuck something down in front of it and have it die. Yep. That's solid. Oh no, he's still alive. So screw you, because I'm going to buff him enough. No, I'm going to take out that Corpse Crawler and... Shit! I'm going to play Life Shaper and then a Death Seeker just to avoid as much of that 15 damage going through as possible. For -5, I'll hit the Flesh Fiend. And then with this Death Seeker, I'm going to get -5 and then 2 -3s and a +3. So the -5 and -3 will go against the Flesh Fiend. The -3 will go against the Corpse Crawler, and the boost will go to my Dark Shaper, obviously. So yeah, Shapers just let you control the board to a truly ridiculous degree. Wait, where's that? He's still alive because I'm still activating things. That's okay, and in fact expected. Be weird if that wasn't happening. So as you can see now, I've got a board full of Shapers, which means that unless he can clear the board, he hasn't been leveling Epidemics. Ferocious Roar will be helpful. It'll also trigger my Dark Shaper once. It'll keep all my Shapers alive a little bit longer if they survive, which I'm hoping they do. I mentioned this last night, but I've got this real self-loathing thing when I play this deck, because I don't think my Shapers... I don't think this is a worthy deck. I realise that these games aren't about worthy, but it's clearly a broken deck. And I say clearly because not only does everyone agree, but they are fixing it, so it's actually a broken deck. So just by playing it, I feel a bit cheap. Hopefully this answers the question of why I hate Shapers so much, because they're just ridiculous. You can just control the whole game, and there's... At this stage, I think there's literally nothing he can do to slow me down. If you manage to take out... To take out my Dark Shaper, you'd have to put a pretty big creature in front of it, so if he gets another level 3 Flesh Fiend, he's laughing. Otherwise, I'll just be able to niggle away at it until it's dead, and buff my Dark Shaper. Other than that, I can't see much he'd be able to do. Like, even playing a Scrapforge Titan or a Shrogrius would be able to wipe me out at this point. Obviously, he doesn't have one, he's been leveling it. Or playing Technosmiths. Yeah, there we go. So, that's a Necrium Utera Shaper deck. Basically, you use the Necriums to control the board, you use the Uteras to buff use the Life Shapers to buff the Dark Shapers. That's my reward. I'm going to keep this one short, because I went ridiculously over time last time. I'm Peter C. Haywood. I should learn that at some point. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know, by the way, any decks that you want to see me play. I'm happy to take suggestions. You've seen my card collection. I've gone through that a few times. I'm just going to make sure I didn't get a legendary or a cool heroic as my daily reward today that I didn't spot. I'm pretty sure I didn't, based on just math. Nothing new there. I probably don't need to do this on camera, but I've started now. No, it doesn't look like I got anything of note. I'd like some more Seismic Adepts, that's a cool card, and Restless Wanderers. I realise that I've got a lot of cards. Someone's complaining about the first set being Legendary Heavy, which I hadn't realised, but it really is, because I've got a shitload of cards, and I still have very legendary... I still don't have that many legendaries. I've been playing this for ages and I put money into it, that's why I have so many cards, but if you would like to have this many cards but you'd like to see the decks you can make, I'm not going to give you my cards, but I will do any decks that you suggest to me. So suggest a deck, and I will make it. This is what I've got, as you can see. I'm thinking of playing around with a Tempest Rush deck. I wish I had more Pyre Giants. I know they're not a great card, but they're good for a Tempest Rush deck. Any suggestions, let me know, and I'll see you tomorrow.